Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Didn't have a stream last week, but we are back. I am almost fully recovered, maybe 99% there. Thanks for joining today. Glad to see you guys here. Hey Patrick, how's it been going? Alex and blah, how have you guys been? Long time no speak. Goodness, what have you guys been up to? How's your foot doing, Alex? Are you back to normal, like back to work? Good. Last week I couldn't stream because I was still recovering from the virus. And as much as I wanted to showcase this plane, I couldn't. But today I think we'll have a chance. So it's the first time I'm going to stream it, and I'm already noticing some differences, some watch outs. It looks to be heavy on the texture side. My GPU memory is getting maxed out, so I think that's still a work in progress. So this is Flysimware's 414A Chancellor. And Flysimware actually gave me a copy for it, so thanks a lot Flysimware for providing a copy. So I got this for free. I have been flying this ever since the release, and it's been going through many updates since, and I've been enjoying the ride, all those updates, testing out the tweaks and whatnot, because there have been tweaks, there have been bugs, there have been bug fixes, and yeah, it's great. So we'll fly today. Busy running around now that it's springtime. It's great now that you can go out of the house. Yeah, things are getting back to normal bit by bit. I have been out of the house as well, doing some errands, doing some work, doing some requirements for the new work. Not sure if you guys had a chance to watch that vid yet with the updates on what's coming in May, but I'll share it here as well for those who have not watched it. I highly recommend you do though if you haven't. Exclamation point YouTube, the latest video in there, channel update, what's happening, because there are some big changes happening in May. And actually as early as the last week of April, I think it will start in effect. So let's make the most of it while we still can. There we go, at least Nightbot is still good. Still rehabbing the foot, I see. But that's good that you are getting back to your regular programming bit by bit, at least able to go back home and back on your PC. So are you able to like drive properly? It doesn't hurt anymore when you like step on the gas at least? Or do you have to do some workarounds in the meantime? Right, so for today we are planning on flying in PilotEdge. PilotEdge has become a favorite for me for streaming. I actually only am able to fly in PilotEdge when I'm streaming, because this is the only time when I can devote 3 hours really focused, 100% in. Otherwise, I'm kind of multitasking, just flying, leaving it in autopilot, and then doing other things. But here, I can have the undivided attention flying and focusing. So I can get into PilotEdge. For those who are not familiar, PilotEdge is an ATC service. So you can actually speak with real people on the other side of the air traffic control, and actually speak with real people and simulate how it works in real life as close as possible. Ironically, you can drive your car fine. Trucking is painful. Oh, wow. So your real car you can drive, but trucking in game, it's still painful. I see. Yeah, might need to recover that a bit first, huh? Goodness. Maybe you'll need a throttle for the pedal. That will be hard. Oh my goodness. Speedy recovery, man. Hope the rehabbing goes well of the foot. So today I wanted to check out, because we've been in PilotEdge a couple of weeks already, and we have been doing the CAT ratings, the communications in airspace ratings. So those are like exams, right? So those are like high pressure flights, because a rating is on the line. It's a test. And I've noticed PilotEdge, the controllers are very professional, but they also seem to be very strict. So friendly is not the term I would describe them. They are efficient, they are effective, they are professional, but I'm a bit scared now to be flying in the network, to be honest, because they are a bit on the strict side, and I feel like I can't make a mistake at all, otherwise I will get punished, I will get scolded, and I have gotten scolded a couple of times by Mrs. Clumsy. So what I want to do today is do a flight that's not a certification, do a flight that's not in the center, because the busiest area is here in the green area in LA. So we're going to do a flight from Amarillo in Texas, and let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong, here in Amarillo, going west to Albuquerque, to New Mexico. And that way we still have the coverage, but hopefully it's less busy airspace. Maybe the controllers are a bit more free, maybe they're a bit more friendly, I'm not sure, but I do want to check out that side of the system, because we've been spending our time here in the busiest areas. So understandably, the controllers don't have time to be friendly, they have to be right on the dot, because they're controlling multiple airports, multiple airspaces and whatnot. Yeah, so we'll see how that works. I have it planned here in Sky Vector. I did the flight planning beforehand. So we'll be departing Amarillo, going to a specific waypoint called Veg, I think, joining an airway and then joining an arrival. I'll go through the details later, but this is the way. We're going from east to west. It's going to be 263 nautical miles all in all, so it will take us around 2 hours more or less in this plane. And in terms of the winds, we actually have quite heavy winds right now. So if you look here, this is New Mexico, there's Albuquerque right there, and there's Amarillo. So you can see the winds coming from the west to the east, right? And depending on the altitude, it actually gets stronger the higher we are. So ideally, we'd like to stay as low as possible. But basing on what I've seen, we have a limit. We can only go, the lowest we can go is 12,000. Because of certain limitations on the airways we're traveling, the arrivals we're going through. They have a 12,000 limitation. You know what? Let me show you quickly that one. So here is the flight, the plan, and you can see here the green line. That's the arrival into Albuquerque. There is a chart for it, and this is where we're coming from Tucumcari. We'll be following this track here, and then you can see a 12,000 in there. If I remember correctly, that's the minimum what do you call it, MEA, I think, minimum en route altitude. So 12,000. 7,700 I think is for terrain, but 12,000 is the minimum, so we cannot go below that if we want to be joining this arrival. So 12,000 is what we'll have to be climbing in, and that means if we go back to windy here at 12,000, around this point, you'll see the winds are coming from the west to east, and they are around 35 knots. So that's going to mean we are going to be pushed by the wind. We'll be slowed down by the wind around 35 knots. So it will take longer for us, but we'll try to enjoy it and we'll see how it goes. And then we can chat once I'm airborne and when it's less busy. I hope that can be a thing, because we might have a few things to chat about with the announcements. But yes, let me know what you think about that, and then I'll get back to you. Also, by the way, you've reached 600 hours. It's a big milestone for me. 600 hours and counting. Alright, let's load it up. Amarillo. I've also gotten a few breakthroughs in the past few weeks while I've been flying. I found that the Windows Defender is actually slowing down my sim. So when I added the exclusion to Windows Defender, my sim was working a lot better, especially with the GTN XI. And I've shared that with the GTN XI team, and they actually recommend that now as a fix. With the winds right now in Amarillo, I'm expecting we'll be departing runway 31 right here, so we can probably park somewhere. Oh, actually, we have to get this right because they are very particular about this. PilotEdge is very particular. So in reality, where we could be at is the FBO here, probably, right? FBO, but there is no parking area there, so we could maybe start here at the hangar. Right, this one right here is the hangar if we refer to Navigraph. What would we say where we are? At the northeast hangar, I guess we could say. Yeah, because we'll have to tell them where we are so that they'll know how to taxi us, how to guide us where to go. They have to know where the starting point is. Okay, let's leave that there for now. Start here at the ramp or the hangar. Let's imagine that we have our own hangar in here. I'm not even sure how that works with the hangars. Do you have like do you rent out a hangar? Do you buy a hangar? Not sure how that works. Okay, let's leave everything open. If you guys want to fly with me, you can. Just go to the Southeast Asia server, spawn in at Amarillo, and even if you're not on PilotEdge, I should be able to see you. Right, let's load it up and let's see if it works. Weight and balance. Now this plane is pretty cool in that regard. It actually remembers your last fuel level. So this, what you set here, is not important. It will get overwritten. Let's change this out. Hey Kevo, how's it going, man? 1 second. Let's put that in. Do we need passengers? Oh, this has been fixed as well, the payload. Okay, good. Because that means we can add passengers. Or do we want performance? I think we want performance today because we'll be battling some heavy headwinds. So I think let's not weigh ourselves down a bit more. Yes, the exclusion works. So the way I managed to get it working is to add a process. Instead of adding a directory or a file, I added a process. So I went to the what was that? Task Manager, Control-Shift Escape. And then I looked at what executables are running. I saw flightsimulator.exe and then TDN simulator exe or GTN simulator exe, something like that. I added both processes to the exclusion list in Windows Defender, and it stopped eating away at my CPU. So otherwise I was getting massive stutters because of it. Good, alright, here we are, Amarillo spawning in. How's it been going, Kevo? Have you been flying? What have you been flying recently? There we go. Also, the tail number, we're not going to be using that because I'm not sure if others are also using it at the same time, because we only have a limited amount of tail numbers deliveries for this plane. That's a very low frame rate, my goodness. Yeah, I think it has something to do with the textures. You can see the textures are almost maxed out. 9,600 there. 1 second, let's disable the preview here. See if that works. No, that's still very low. That's what I noticed. I'm getting very low frame rates on the ground. I think it's the textures on the GPU maxing out. Who was that? Hey, Patrick. Goodness. Thank you. GG, man. Welcome back to the sub list. Blah, because you've been in the bro zone. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for that gift, Patrick. Hey, Kelly. Long time no see. How's it been? How are you? Let me just do one quick tweak. Maybe it's the terrain level of detail. Yeah, that might be. That might be. Could also be the textures. Yeah, let's lower it down to maybe 150. See if that helps. Yeah, that helped a lot. got maybe 3 frames, 4 frames for that, and for flight sim, that's big already. So this is the plane, guys. I'm not sure if you've seen it already before. You've probably seen a couple of videos and streams about it, but this is my favorite plane at the moment. Has its own EFB for all the stuff. You can open all the doors. Unfortunately, you cannot open the doors outside yourself. There's still a limitation from Microsoft that they do not allow that. You cannot click on things when you're outside. But the cool thing is you can click on things here. So you can see the cabin, super nice, right? The quality. And yeah, my system is feeling it. I'm maxing out my VRAM here because of all these textures. I think this will be improved in the following weeks. They will use some systems that are more optimized, decal system and whatnot. Right. Let's go outside and see how this looks. So this is how the plane looks with all its compartments open. This is one of the, in real life, this is a very big thing, literally. So you can see how big this compartment is. Like, it would fit golf clubs and everything you can think of. And they say, as long as it fits through here, the plane can take it. Like, you won't have to worry so much about weight and balance. That's very nice. And if we load stuff there, actually, I think even that actually gets simulated. You know, let's try putting something. If we add, let's top up the fuel. Just to be on the safe side. And then let's go and add some weight on the nose. Maybe 100 pounds. There it is. And also on the wing and on the right. Might be too heavy, huh? Maybe 30 pounds. 1 second. I'll get back to chat. I see it moving. Something like that. Right? Not too shabby. Hey, Kelly. Oh, I see. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry to hear that, Kelly. Yes, hopefully we can help with that a bit. Let's go and travel, guys. Get your luggages in. Super cool, right? Oh, that's all simulated. And then you even have compartments over here. Right? Very fancy. This kind of briefcase reminds me of a movie. What's that movie called? Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. I don't know why. I think Nicolas Cage had a very iconic gun there, like a golden I don't know, Desert Eagle or something. It just reminds me of that with that gold finish. Very nice. That's a classic. And then you should be even able to, I think, open up the cowlings here. So you can actually see inside the engine. 1 second, let's go and check it out. Hey Scotsman, how's it going? Are you up to date? Have you watched the update video? I'll keep you guys up to date in a bit after we've settled down here. So what we can actually do is put in all the equipment. You can even have a GPU, a ground power unit in there to power up the plane. I don't think we'll need that for now though. And then we can even do for maintenance stuff, open all the things that need to be checked. Now, granted, I'm not familiar with all of those, but at the very least we'll have an idea. Right? You can see all the covers for the static ports and everything. Even the fuel cap in here is open. There's even like a filter in there. Right? It's super detailed, and here is the big thing about it. This reminds me of that video I'm watching. What is that YouTube video? Recovery or something. They are trying to revive a Cessna 401, I think. Some very similar to this plane, twin engine Cessna, and then they kind of really went through the engine like this. You can see each of the cylinders, at least the cap on it. 3 on this side, 3 on this side. Massive engine. I think these are Continental IO 520 or something along the sort. Right? There's even like the oil level you can check, where there's like a dipstick and you can see the level. Although I can't really see. Oh yeah, I can see the level. Can you guys see there? the black goes up to that point. Hopefully that's the right level. But yeah, you can really immerse yourself doing these walk-arounds. Right? Even though there is no real actual walk around yet in the sim, you can do something like this. That's added immersion. Hey Sniffit, how's it going? So yeah, really lots of enjoyable stuff for maximum immersive vibes. There's even quite interesting on this plane. First time I've seen one. There's actually this guy, a rudder lock, like a physical lock where if it's locked, if it's slanted, if it's diagonal, you won't be able to move the rudder. Now we do have a bug at the moment, I think, that the rudder doesn't move when on the ground. Like physically you won't see it moving, but you can steer. You can the nose wheel is steering. It is moving, but I don't think you see it. I think that's the bug. Not yet sure. It hasn't been acknowledged, so we're not sure if it's a bug or a feature. Then we have all these tie downs, the chocks and everything. Super high quality, and that's why my GPU, all my 10 gig of VRAM is getting eaten by this beauty. Good. Did you have your chocolate before? Hey, what chocolate is that? Missed that. Yes, feeling better now, Kelly. Thanks. Yes, sorry couldn't drop by there today. How is Jack, by the way? Hope you guys are good. Let's close them up in here and remove. I would have wanted to be clicking this right outside, right? Because like in the Challenger 650 in X-Plane, we can do that. You can actually do a walk around. You can even hear footsteps. And then when you click on something, it opens. That's real immersion right there. Right now, we're a bit limited because of Microsoft Flight Sim limitations. But it's not too bad. So right now, we work with an EFB, which is definitely not the same experience. But getting there. At least the graphics is amazing. There you go. You can even open the table if you want. Oh, that's a very loud table. Whew. Goodness. I think you should be able to turn on the lights as well, but we do have batteries off still. So that looks good. All right. And I think now we can hide that if we press this one. There we go. And yeah, I just like the overall look of the plane, right? The mixture, the merging of classic steam dial, steam gauges with super high-tech GTN 750XI units. It's the best of both worlds. Good. VFR from Whiskey Mike Sierra Alpha to Whiskey Mike Kilo India. Ooh, enjoy. Wait, which airports is that? Which country? W sounds like it's somewhere in Asia. DCS Toast, hey. Thanks, I guess. King Julian. My goodness, is that the I like to move it guy? Malaysia, there we go. Malaysia indeed. Thanks. Cool. Enjoy, man. Alright, so let's go and start up this plane. Yeah, we do have all the pre-flight inspections as well. So if you guys go through the if you press this button, it actually goes outside to where that is. So when you have it open, you'll actually be able to see each one, right? So you can do your walk around that way. Very nice. Yeah, so you don't have to walk around manually. You can be guided like this one. And then you have 7 pages of pre-flight inspection, super detailed. But yeah, the actual flight itself, it's not so detailed. Like the starting engines, this is where I would have wanted all the details to be there. Hopefully it gets added. But right now, this is one of the... I hope it's the in-progress stuff. Alright, cabin door is sealed. Actually, I haven't highlighted that. You can actually see if it's sealed. There's that green line, I think, that indicates that it is closed and sealed. So you have locked properly. So if I open it, yeah, check door lock indicator. I think that's the one, right? You see that kind of going out. So that's sealed properly because this is a pressurized plane. So it is important that all the windows and doors are closed and locked properly, sealed properly. You have a control lock right here. So you cannot move the controls if that's there. Yeah, but you can easily remove it. There you go. And now we can move the controls. Seat belts are secured. Main tank. So we do have a selector in here. Just put that on main. Left engine on left tank. Right engine on right tank. Landing gear is down over here. Throttles. This is one thing that's a bit frustrating at the moment, but it's not the fault of 414. It's not the fault of this plane. It's a limitation with Microsoft Flight Sim. Because this is a turbocharged engine. It's a piston engine, but it's a turbocharged engine. And it has a different behavior with the mixture. Normally when you climb until you reach around flight level 210, it's just full forward the mixture. Because of the turbocharger, you're getting enough air and you don't have to lean the mixture like in a normally aspirated piston engine. But here, because of Microsoft Flight Sim's incomplete implementation of turbocharged engines still, that doesn't work. So you have to lean the mixture like this manually. So what the developer did, there's actually an auto mixture setting. So he turned that on. So what happens is you keep the entire flight, you just keep this full forward and that's it. And when you try to move this like this, nothing happens. It doesn't register because it takes care of the mixture for you. So it's not that well simulated yet, but it's not the plane's fault. It's something that needs to improve on a platform level. Yeah, but that's one of the limitations at the moment. Okay, circuit breakers are in. We are good. Physically fit. Do I sound like him? Good. Right, clock, flight time. Those are not on yet. Prop sync is off here. Battery switch, we can turn on the batteries now. There we go. We can start actually hearing some of the, I'm not sure if those are avionics fans starting to hum. And what I like about this, we have the, I think they call it the voltameter, because it's a voltage and an ammeter at the same time. So you can see here, can you guys see that properly? If you look at the upper, you know what, I can stop, I can pause track IR there. If you look at the upper dial, it's amps. If you look at the lower dial, it's voltage. And depending on what you select here on this selector here, it will show either amps or voltage. Basically, you have 4 options. This is the left alternator, right alternator, battery, and then voltage. The first 3 you can see from the arrow there, it shows amps. So the first 3 here will show amps, and only the last one will show the voltage. So everything, if you're using the first 3, only the top dial is important. If you're selecting the 4th one, only the bottom is important, if that makes sense. Let me just try and show it. So if you look at the battery there, turn off the battery, the amps die, right? Because when we have amps, then there is load on the battery is being used, right? So depending on how much load of electricity there is, the higher the amps are. So when you turn on the battery, it starts powering up the electricity. So when you turn on your, for example, your strobes, then the load increases, right? As you increase the load, it shows that. And then if you turn it to the right like this, you see the voltage of the battery, and that overall shows how much pressure is coming in. So you need a minimum of 24 or 25 volts in order to start the plane. And if this goes too low, then you actually see a low voltage in there, or if it gets dangerous. So that's something we have to watch out for. So what we want is to keep this on battery. So we see the amps on the battery, and we'll monitor this because once we start the engines and turn on the alternator, the load on the battery should go to negative, which means we are charging the battery. Right? So this should go to negative, and if it doesn't, then there's something wrong with the alternator. It's and that part is really well simulated. I really like that. These are the kind of things that I really look forward to. Alright, gear position lights are green here. Fuel totalizer is set. Now, unfortunately, this can be a quite nice system, but it's still a bit buggy. It's maybe halfway there. It doesn't really count down properly. The estimates are wrong, but this basically is our fuel gauge. We do have a gauge here, fuel quantity, but I think this is what we use normally. So we have to sync that manually here. So we maximized it, right? We've topped up our fuel to 06, and that's being sensed here properly. But we also have to input it here. We have to say, okay, either we use the whatever the last fuel level was, which is 104 gallons, I believe. The decimal is wrong. Or we say we actually filled it up to the brim, so we start with 206. Or we add something. So from the original 104, we actually add a few gallons more. And what that addition is, we set that here. But for simplicity, we go with filling up the tanks. So we do go for fill up and then we say enter. And that's the starting point. Gallon remaining 206. Gallon remaining 206 at the top. So we manually synchronize that, right? So now it's synchronized. The bug is, at the moment in this version, this 206 doesn't really count down. It stays at 206. So you can see the fuel here changing. The dials are lowering, but the number here doesn't go down. That's an existing bug. Hopefully it gets fixed soon. There should be an update coming live in 30 minutes or so. I'm actually monitoring it, hoping it comes in soon. But maybe we can get a chance to check that out immediately. Right? So that looks good. Now you can see the starting engine's very basic. It doesn't even involve like priming the engine or whatnot. So I hope that adds more simulation in there. Why is that still open? I thought I closed everything. Okay, there you go. Alright, good. Thank you. To you, I do. Thanks, I guess. Alright. Now we do have low voltage. So I'm not sure if we should force it. So I think we'll need the GPU here. Let's get the GPU in. You can hear it. It's out there. You can actually go outside. And you can see the low voltage warning disappearing. Because now the plane is being powered by the GPU. You can see it's actually connected. You can actually hear it. Quite nice. And if you look at the voltmeter here, this will actually reflect properly. So you can see the battery is now charging, right? The GPU is now charging it. The voltage is now to the brim. I don't know how that is. That 28 volts maybe, right? And that's coming from the GPU. So there is no more load on the battery itself. Good. Yeah, yes. Supposedly something is coming 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today, and that's in that's actually in 2 hours, I think. Yeah, so we'll see if that comes through. I am in the Discord server from Flysimware, and I'm monitoring. There is a channel there with the updates, so let's have a look there later. Okay, looks good. Now is that enough? Since we charged the battery, is it enough if we remove it now? It immediately goes to low voltage again. Oh, let's leave it that way. I think that should be enough to power up the plane still. Okay, good. Let's start it up. So, let's go and... So this is the prime button. This is equivalent to setting the fuel pressure, fuel pumps to high. So this is the fuel pump, these two dials here. You can hear it. Right? That's the high. That's the low. So hear the sound. This is the high fuel pump. That one. And compare it with the sound when you prime it. It's the same, right? Because essentially it's the same thing. When you're priming the engine like this, you are turning on the high fuel pump on that side. So it's the same as doing it like this. Yeah, so that should be a couple of seconds. That should be enough. Now we do need to turn on the Magnetos right here. This is for the left side, and that one is for the right side. So you have the left and right Magnetos for engine 1, and then the left and right Magnetos for engine 2 right there. You can open the window, of course. Clear prop. And then let's go and start it up. There it is. And we can monitor the levels here. There's the oil pressure starting to climb. Right. There's the RPM starting to climb, the fuel flow coming up. Let's pull back a bit on the throttle here, maybe around 1200 RPM would be a nice steady vibe. Now the sounds, we do have a bit of mixed reviews on the sounds. Some people like it, some don't. Very much a matter of taste, as we all know. I think it has room for improvement, but in general I like it. And it has been tweaked a couple of times through the betas as well. It's nice. So everything in the green, all pressure, all temperature, all in the green. So that looks good. So that means we now should be able to start the left alternator. So you can see here, left alternator. Monitor the amps. You can see the amps go negative on the battery, and then the left alternator now has load, right? So the left alternator is now powering the plane, and the battery is now charging. It's actually reflecting properly. And the right alternator is still off, so it's still 0. Yeah, it's very well monitored. Hey Jack, how's it going? Glad you could join. There's even a suction in here. So the vacuum, you can see it's being the pressure is coming from both the left and right engines, right? And then on the, if it's red, it's inoperative. You can see the right one is inoperative still. That's very nice attention to detail. A while ago they were both red, but now we started engine 1. That looks good. And we start engine 1 first on this plane because the battery is actually over here on this side, on the left side. So it's a bit closer in terms of the wirings and whatnot. It just makes more sense to power up the left engine first and then use the power from that to power the right side. So it's not like the airliners when you start with engine 2 first, right? So it's prime engine 2, and this is where I would want more simulation. Like you can actually drown the engine with fuel if you prime it too much, but that's not simulated. I think I don't think you even need to prime it. I turn on the mags and start it up. There we go. Oil pressure, oil temperature climbing. Manifold pressure, RPM climbing, fuel flow climbing bit by bit. There you go. It's looking pretty good. RV14, yeah, lots of people waiting for that one. I personally am not, because it's a bit of a aerobatics plane, right? And you know me, I have very slow reflexes, so I'm not able to maximize that. Right alternator goes on. There you go. So now that's actually pretty nice. You can see here. If I only have one alternator, you can see the load on the left is quite high. But if I turn on my right alternator, then the load is split on the two. Yeah, the two alternators. So they have more of an even load. Yeah, very nicely done, this voltmeter. Very nicely simulated. Okay, so now we have both engines powered. You guys are able to hear me well? The volume is okay. We can turn on the avionics here. There you go. The Garmin GTN 750Xi's powering up, and there are two of them. Yes, there are two 750Xi's. Right, versions looking good. A self-test. The self-test is not quite correct yet, and you have to make sure you always change the CDI to GPS, like so. You can see actually the
TOS system test OK.
The flag there disappearing when you set to GPS. There you go. So we have a proper CDI now. And then I also slaved this CDI. I also slaved it. So whatever the course is set on our flight plan, it will actually change the setting here automatically. I think in real life it doesn't work like that. It should be manual. But there is a bug with these dials sometimes, that sometimes it moves in 10 degrees instead of 1 degree. So sometimes it's hard to move. So I just slave that for simplicity. Right, looking good. Let's turn on this one as well. I like even there's like a reflection in there, huh? Right, there we go. And I have this customized, so I have different data displaying on each one. Alright, looking good. Let's turn that on to standby for now. That's a transponder. Let's plug in the flight plan. Let me do this right here. So what we want to do is go from Amarillo, go direct to Veg, and then join the Victor 12 airway. Yes, to Tucumcari VOR, Tango Charlie Charlie. That's the guy. Yeah, that looks good. Load it up. And then we'd want to join the Mira 2 arrival to Albuquerque. So I think what I can do is go to Albuquerque right here. That's the destination. But after Tucumcari, I want to go direct to... Actually, no, Tucumcari is the starting point of the arrival. So here, I'm going to load a procedure, arrival, Mira 2, and the Tucumcari transition, load that. There you go. So that looks good. So from Veg to Tucumcari, and then from Tucumcari, the arrival to Albuquerque, and then the approach, we're not sure. We'll assign that later when we get something. Right, that looks good. So if we can actually preview that, that's what we have from east to west, from Amarillo to Albuquerque, right? So we can do that same thing here. Unfortunately, there is no crossfill, so you have to do that manually. But it's not so bad, and you can do it mid-flight. You don't have to really plug this in manually. I mean, you can leave that blank because they work independently of each other. But my OCD just wants to complete this. You know, just make this exact. So we go for Veg, load the airway to Tucumcari, and then from there we do the Mira 2 arrival with the Tucumcari transition. There we go. Nice. Right. You have moved to the chocolate. Oh my goodness, you guys are making me hungry. Hey Rook, how's it going, man? Have you been controlling recently? I was looking at Volanta earlier because I was wondering if I see Rook online, I will go to VATSIM and go there, and then I will try it out. Maybe next time I can join you. So we are at the hangar near Coyote Flight Center, or Northeast Hangar, I think is what I could say. Right, so Charlie Papa. We can actually listen to ATIS. So let's go 121.5, the guard frequency. Monitor 2 always. And let's start PilotEdge. 1 second. Awesome. No problem, Rook. Right, let's connect. So we'll change our tail number. Tail number will be November 414 Charlie Lima. So Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, or Chancellor 414 Charlie Lima. I'm not sure which one is the correct one, but I kind of like the sound of Twin Cessna better. So Cessna 414 type code. Okay, looks good. I think that looks good. Let's connect. Okay, we are connected. That's good. So now I can tune into the actual frequencies and I should hear something. So if we listen to the ATIS, which should be 118.85, we should hear the ATIS.
3 Zulu, wind
Nice.
260 at 11, visibility 10, sky condition, clear, temperature 31, dew point -7, altimeter 2943, arriving and
Awesome, no
departing
pressure.
runway 22. Visual
2-2,
approaches
okay,
in
I was
use.
expecting 3-1.
VFR
Okay.
departures, contact clearance, delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold ORD instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo.
We have echo. Let's repeat it because I didn't
Amarillo
hear the...
International Airport,
the winds.
ATIS information echo. 2353 Zulu, wind 260 at 11, visibility 10, sky condition, clear, temperature 31, dew point
Okay,
-7, Altimeter 2943.
Alright. Jaffa. What's a Jaffa Jonuts? I have not heard of that before. AST. Or thanks guys for joining. Sorry I'm a bit late with the response. Welcome back, guys. Yeah, sorry I wasn't here last week. I've been recovering from the COVID. But yes, we're good now. So now we should be able to request. Actually, I should file it first, huh? Yeah, I should file a flight plan first. So 1 second, let me file it. It's IFR. We are November 414 Charlie Lima. We are a Charlie 414. I think it's the ICAO code of this plane. And what is one aircraft? I'm not sure what that is. No, only one aircraft. Maybe when you're a flight, a group. Okay, true airspeed, we should be around 200 knots, roughly. Departure from Amarillo and arriving at Albuquerque. We don't need an alternate because it's VFR conditions. I think you're only required to file an alternate if it's IFR. Cruising altitude will be 12,000 feet. And then the route of flight, let me do that here. Okay, direct veg, join Victor 1-2, Tucumcari, then join the Mira 2 arrival, basically. Okay, good. Looking good. IFR, that's good. Alright, file the flight plan. Okay, it's good. So we'll call ourselves Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima. Let me try and remember that. I hope I got it right though. Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima. I think the more correct is Chancellor, because a Twin Cessna and a Chancellor can be quite different. The Chancellor is pressurized. A Twin Cessna can or cannot be. Either way. So a Chancellor is more accurate, but I just like the sound of Twin Cessna more. So let's see if we can pass through that. A ring donut shaped Jaffa cake. Hey, goodness, I want that. Oh, now I'm hungry too. Goodness. All right, we have echo. We are good. Now I need to tune into the frequency. So I'm looking at the chart. This is where I'm looking, guys. Navigraph, right? So this is where I tuned in ATIS. So we tune into clearance first, then ground, then tower. So this is where I'm getting all of these. And let me plug that in here. Also, there is one thing I want to highlight before I tune in. There is actually, because they say expect runway 22 for departures, and I've learned my lesson. So there is actually no SID in this airport technically, but if you look at airport info, there is actually an obstacle departure procedure. On runway 22, climb heading 219 to 4,100 before turning northbound. Although we're not really turning northbound, we're actually turning west. We're continuing west, but I think we can follow this one. Climb heading 218 to 4,100 before turning on course. Maybe that's something we can think of. Yeah, or maybe when you're going west, it's not really a problem. They even have a chart that illustrates how this looks. So if you're departing runway 22, they say go straight first and then turn left afterwards, after you've crossed a certain altitude. If you're taking runway 30 or something, you turn north first before you turn to where you're going, because over here you actually have a lot of obstacles here in this area. So that's why they have an obstacle departure procedure. Disney Plus. Spammer, there's a spammer in chat. So yes, we'll be expecting that we'll be assigned this obstacle departure. We'll see if that's needed, because runway 22 is what we're expecting will get assigned, right? So let's go and tune into clearance 2165, and then for ground it's 219er. All right. You know what? Let's do something first. Let me do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do a radio check. In PilotEdge, you have this functionality. So if we speak on this and we monitor it, we speak in mic 1 and we monitor frequency 2, it's kind of going to echo back our voice. So let's see. Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, radio check. Very nice. Even the static is there. Cool. Okay. Alright, so that looks good.
4.32, squawk 1425 correction. It's actually going to be a departure of 124.32, 2432.
Ah, sorry to hear that, Kelly. Get well soon, man. Yeah, I definitely know the feeling.
Clear the Tango Yankee.
Hopefully
Lima
you're not
Airport,
experiencing
16,000. Albuquerque Center on 134.32, and then I believe you said the squawk would be 2432, 2432 for Zergolf Hotel.
Is the volume good, guys? The default volume?
1425, departure frequency 124.32.
Departure will be 12432 and the squawk will be 1425 for Zergolf Hotel.
Zergolf Hotel, ready back correct, holds for release.
Bit loud. Okay, let's see.
Solway Tower, November 311, Papa Delta, holding short of 35 at Kilo 1, ready to go.
1 second, let's adjust that.
311 Papa Delta, Solway Tower, fly heading 340, runway 35, clear for takeoff.
340, runway 35, clear for takeoff, 311 Papa Delta.
How about that one? Yeah. Alright.
Good for ground sky at 53 at Millionaire with Oscar. I'd like to re-pick up my clearance with for departure of the weed. Computer shut down there.
Get well soon, Kelly.
Down 53, meant for ground. Cover the Weed Airport, Route 7 departure, Greyhound transition is filed. Departure, correction, climb via SID, departure frequency is 124.3.
Hey, Supra. Rough power settings for the climb. I'm using a different GTN. I'm using the TDS GTN. I like that more. But yeah, for the climb power settings, just set the go towards the edge of the green bar here. So go towards 35 manifold pressure and 2500 RPM. 3525 is a good climb. I am in clearance, right? Yeah, I'm in clearance. Okay. Amarillo clearance, Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima requesting IFR to Albuquerque.
For Charlie Lima, Amarillo clearance, a full route, clear to the Albuquerque Airport via Rudder Vector to the Panhandle Vor, Papa November Hotel, Victor 12 to Albuquerque, Alpha Bravo Quebec, direct Albuquerque Airport, maintain 12000, departure frequencies Amarillo 119.5, squawk 3036.
Okay, 414 Charlie Lima cleared to Albuquerque via vectors to Panhandle VOR, then Victor 12 to Albuquerque VOR, then direct Albuquerque, 12,000 on the altitude, departure frequency 119.5, squawk 3036.
We're 414 Charlie Lima, is correct?
Okay, good. Alright. Ooh, that was a handful. That was very different from what I was expecting. So maybe we should have done this before we plugged in stuff, right? Because now we're actually going to need to delete all of this. Yeah, very different from what I planned. So what they said we need is actually Amarillo, and we're going to be vectored towards the Panhandle VOR here, and then from there we'll join the Victor 12 airway to Albuquerque, and then from there we'll go direct to Albuquerque Airport. So actually what they're planning for us is like this. Yeah, it's a bit straight line still, but very different waypoints.
Up to 11,000 now, 311 Papa Delta.
I could read that back. Well, I had some notes, so thankfully I was able to type them out. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to if I did not have a chance. Yeah, if I did not note it down. So let me just do that here as well. Bear with me a bit.
In Salt Lake departure, we're still on heading. If we can get on course when able, that'd be great.
Yeah, I gotta check the en route altitude of the airway because the MIA in the area is a little bit higher.
Okay, Roger.
Panhandle Vor, join the Victor 1-2 airway to Albuquerque, and then direct to Albuquerque. So we won't be doing the arrival anymore, and looks like they probably will vector us out. We have been told to squawk 3036. There you go. And let's turn that on. Let's turn that to altitude later. Altitude reporting later.
Frequency 124.32.
So now we can switch to ground, which is 121.9. And then we can get ready tower, which is 118.3. And then later, when we switch to tower, we can plug in the departure, which is 119.5. Okay, so now the tricky part, taxiing to runway 22. We're expecting Charlie, Papa. This looks a bit different from what I expected.
You were clear up to 10,000. Just verify your climate at 10.
No, indeed, Charlie, Papa, and then Papa 5. Charlie, Papa, Papa 5 to runway 22. That's what we're expecting. And we should tell them that we are at the northeast hangars with information echo. Right? Something like that. What the heck did you remember? Yeah, thanks to notes. Yeah, the TDS is amazing. Yes, 3525. That's a good, easy to remember hour setting. Alright, so let's go and set that up. Right. Am I on the correct frequency? 121.9, yes. Amarillo ground, Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima. Request taxi with information echo. We're at the northeast hangars.
November 419 Echo Romeo. Nope, November 414 Charlie Lima. Amarillo ground, runway 22, taxi via Papa.
Runway 22, taxi via Papa, 414 Charlie Lima. Good, okay, let's turn on our... Actually, I forgot to turn on my strobes. That should be our beacon before we even started the engine, but no one's looking, I hope. And let's try to avoid these guys. Hey Kelly, get well soon. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate the company. Yes, best speedy recovery for you, man. Okay. Alright. Let's do that. Looking good. Runway 22. So let's go align our runway heading to runway 22. And then we'll be given vectors. So we have to prepare for that. Right. And then we should get our altimeter correct as well. That's 2943. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a long way. 2943. And then we'll cross-check that with the altitude. The field elevation, which is 3,600. Okay, that checks. Nice. There is also one there on the right, but I'll fix that later because we're busy. And here, this is Charlie. We turn right on Papa. There shouldn't be that light there, so we'll have to avoid it. Papa, I think, is this next right here. Is it? Yes, it is. But we'll check anyway, double check that there is no aircraft. Yeah, I think we're clear. Papa here on the right. And then we'll do a ground check later on. We've also been cleared to 12,000, right? So we can maintain that here. Let's just do this turn here. And yes, I'm taxiing slow so I can prepare at the same time. over here, our altitude selector is going to be on this guy. We've been cleared to 12,000, which is our cruising altitude already, so we can arm that. And here we can adjust our cabin altitude.
It would be my innate pleasure to issue that to you.
12,000.
Yeah, you can expect that.
I thought he was talking to someone. Alright, Panhandle VOR. Let's double check. Panhandle VOR, waypoint info. 116.6, okay.
53 minutes for tower on full, clip takeoff. Clip takeoff.
6.6. And then what we can do, that should come alive here. There we go. That's the information towards Panhandle VOR. We are 1 mile away from it. Yeah, Panhandle VOR is actually pretty close to us. Should be, yeah, that one right there. Oh crap, connection lost? Hopefully not. Let's hope that comes back soon. That sucks here. How's the sound for you guys of the aircraft? Anything? It's a bit bubbly, it's a bit muffled. I kind of like the roughness of it. Right. Let's do our checks here. Let's stop before the whole short line. I don't think there's anyone that's waiting, so we can do our ground check here. Okay. Actually, there looks like, is this a run-up area maybe? Nah, let's just do it here. Should be fine. Sounds like a tractor. Hey beer, how's it going? Should it sound like a tractor? I don't really know. It does have large engines, so maybe it shouldn't be that far off. Alright, let's stop here. We should be able to hear it better.
Clearance plus 610 Golf Hotel is...
There we go. Let's switch to tower. 108.3. And then departure frequency is 109.5. Let's leave that on standby. And then let's do the run-up. So I'm going to push the throttle so we get 1700 on the RPM.
That will contact Albuquerque in 10.
Something like that. And then we'll check the Magnetos. You can hear the difference because the RPM on the left drops a bit. Even the fuel flow drops a bit. Yeah. And the right one. Yeah. Check that. Now unfortunately one of the bugs is the RPM. Oh, the propeller lever does nothing. Right? Doesn't really lower the RPM at the moment unless you feather it, which shouldn't be necessary. Everything in the green looks good. Alright, we are good to go. We're ready for departure in here. Alright. Amarillo Tower, Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, ready for departure, runway 22.
Charlie Lima, Amarillo Tower, fly runway heading, runway 22, for takeoff.
Runway heading, runway 22, clear for takeoff, 414 Charlie Lima. Right, good. Let's go and get the fuel pumps on to low. Turn on the landing lights. Go to altitude reporting. Let's do our checks. Gas, yes. Both tanks on the main. Fuel pump is on. Undercarriage. Gears are down. Cowl flaps are open. Flaps are up. Mixture is full. Props are full. Switches are on. Okay, let's go. Taxi. It's going to get loud, guys. I'll probably have to adjust the volume at some point. Let's actually lower that down now. There you go, because it will get really loud. Final is clear. Runway is clear. Wind's hawk. Wind's coming from the right.
Dash 53, Cascade, radar contact.
Right, fly runway heading, we've been told. Alright, looks good. I see runway 22, 218 on the heading.
For 1 Papa Delta, connect Salt Lake Center, 133.25.
Sounds better with the throttle.
133.25, 311.
1500 looks good, everything on the green. Alright, bit of right crosswind correction.
17 Charlie Zulu. Capital clearance, clear the San Francisco Airport, better vectors to Orca.
My left rudder is intense in order to keep center line. Airspeed's alive. Crosswind correction is real, guys. 80 knots. Going to rotate at 100. 100 knots. Rotate. There you go. Crosswind. Take off for the win. Positive rate. Tap the brakes. You're up. Going to release that rudder bit by bit. There we go. Alright. Looking good. Let's keep that in for now. Looking good. Let's turn on the flight directors in here. Let's go for heading. Let's go for IAS 140.
Number 1 Papa Delta. I don't have the runway 23 center line, so the best I can do for you is point you at the airport southwest bound.
So I'm going to pull back on the power now. 35 inches and 2500 on the RPM.
Fly heading 050.
Looking good. And now we can turn on the yaw damper. We should expect the vectors soon. We can actually turn off the pumps, the lights. Should get handed over to departure soon, I think.
Number 4 Charlie Lima, contact Amarillo at departure.
Don't get departure, thanks. 414 Charlie Lima.
Medford Tower, 995 Mike's on left downwind runway 14.
995 Mike, runway 14, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 14, 995 Mike.
Amarillo departure, twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, 6,000, climbing 12,000, runway heading.
414 Charlie Lima, Amarillo, radar contact, turn right heading 280, join Victor 12.
Turn right heading 280, joining Victor 12, 414 Charlie Lima. Okay, so let's go with that. 280, right? 280. It's going to be a bit hectic on the manual flying, so I'll turn on autopilot in a bit. Looking good. Let's turn on autopilot. Alright. There we go. Good. Okay, because what we need to do is we need to intercept this. So actually, it's good already. It's this leg is active, the panhandle to the veg leg. That's already the Victor 1-2. So what we just need to do is intercept that by pressing nav here. So when we get close enough to that leg, then the heading will get disabled. It will get replaced by GPS, because that's where we're headed, right? We're headed that way. We're going to get close to this magenta line eventually. And when we're close enough, the autopilot will change to GPS and follow that line all throughout. That's the idea. So let's see. Is there a seam brief profile? No problem, Supra. Yeah, thanks for asking those questions. Not yet that I know of. I think someone made some. But to be honest, it's not, I don't know, it's not as necessary. And I think with all the changes coming in with the beta, it's not very practical yet for it's not very practical to make a sim brief profile it because it's constantly changing. Alright, we're climbing more than 1,000 feet per minute. Did I forget something?
Report your IFR cancellation of this frequency in the air.
We're keeping mixture full forward. The turbochargers are taking care of all the air for us, so we don't need to lean the mixture. Lights are off here. The landing lights have been retracted, but we have to turn it off so that it's not applying that force for retracting, because it is a retractable landing gear here on this side. There's like a flap. The landing gear actually goes down like this and then retracts. Right, 9,200, 90 knot headwind. That will actually increase as we go. We're expecting around 30 to 40 knots as we progress through here. Right, so you can see the gallons remaining is still 206. That's the bug. So we can change that. Time remaining is not accurate. 1 hour 22. It should be more than that. The fuel flow is too much.
Where are you?
My apologies. We're on the ground at Greeley.
There we go. Alright, looking good. The plane is sometimes porpoising because it's aiming for that 140 knots. So when that becomes too bumpy, a tip for you guys is you can actually go to VS mode, so you can hold that vertical climb speed so it's less bumpy, and then you can just shallow out the climb a bit just so it's more comfortable for the passengers. Looking good. How's the volume, guys? Is the engine too loud? I can lower it a bit more, like this level. You can also pull and push this knob for shortcuts on from and to the VOR. It's very useful. So when we're 1,000 to go, the altitude alert should light up. There it is. And we can wait for it to change. Alright, good. Did I miss something? No, I think we're good. So, how is everyone doing? Sorry, I was a bit busy. But getting there bit by bit. Alright, we're getting close to that line. Should be intercepting it soon. And there you go. Actually, there it is. So the GPS came alive. Now we're intercepting that rack.
Number 17 Charlie Zulu, Capital Tower.
We're now at 12,000 as well. So the autopilot is actually leveling us out.
Runway 35 right.
And we can go for a power setting in here, I guess. So we could keep 35 inches, 2,500. Just take it to the edge because we have quite significant headwinds in here. We have 24 knots of headwind. So that's going to really affect our ground speed. But yeah, it's a very smooth autopilot.
Cascade departure Sky 52. I've got the run through weed request.
How do you pull the knob? Oh, this one? Yeah, it is. It's one of those like knobs that you can pull and push if you see the animation. But in the sim, the arrow should change. So this is pulling, this is pushing. You would see that your mouse cursor change as well. I'm using the legacy settings, so it might look a bit different for lock settings. Or is it lock? Yeah, lock I think is the name. Good. We should be handed over to center soon, I guess, after a while, because we are outside the Class Charlie airspace. You use lock. Yeah, I really like lock originally, but I don't like that blue thing. When you're hovering over any of the buttons, they highlight blue. It breaks immersion for me. Otherwise, I really like the concept of locking into a device and then using your mouse to adjust the setting. If there is a mod that removes that, that would be perfect for me actually. Removes the blue highlight. Oh, and now that we're in cruise, we can actually pull this one. So we'll close the cowl flaps. That should ideally speed us up, and at the cost of heating the engines a bit. But I don't think that's really true. I don't think that really happens. Look at how fast we are, guys. We have 23 knots headwind, but we're still 200 knots on the ground, traveling 200 knots on the ground. So our true airspeed would be around 220 if you look at here. Yeah, if this is the inner knob, the inner dial, 200, 210, 220, almost 230 knots true airspeed on a power setting like this. In terms of fuel estimates, you can see 1 hour here, 1 hour 13. If you look in the GTNXI, it actually has something as well. You can see, where is it? Endurance is actually 3 hours 13. So this one is 2 hours off, right? It's I don't know. The fuel computer is still a bit buggy. I hope it gets fixed in the next version. Still not getting handed over to frequency, to center. Hope I didn't miss that call. Maybe I was too chatty. Okay. So I actually should change this route. So direct Panhandle.
462 passing through 5.6 runway heading.
Walker 462, Denver departure at a contact 4 miles southwest of Gillette.
Strange.
Check Walker 462.
We'll probably be given vectors at some point when we get close to Albuquerque, because looks like we'll be going past the airport if we continue along this route. Hey Raz, yes, indeed. Crossfill would be nice. Although I actually was talking with Tiberio about that, the owner of TDS, and he did say that the request for crossfill is really high. And I said, yeah, that's true. Although personally, I don't mind that much, because like this one, we have so much time on the air that at some point we'll have nothing else to do. So might as well fiddle with this other one, and you can fill out the this second panel when you're in the air when you're doing nothing. so it's inconvenient without the crossfill, but it gives me something else to do. So it's not that bad. You can brighten the light here. This is the flight time. Ah, I see. Right. In VR, that would be a bit more challenging. Yeah, it's understandable. I hope they add it in. Let's double check. We should have done this. We should have checked the cabin altitude. So cabin differential, you see, is maxed out around 5 psi. That's the difference of pressure inside the cabin versus outside. And that's maxed out. That means the pressurization is working. And we see that the cabin altitude is only, what is this? 1,000 feet? Yeah, 1,000 feet. Even though we are 12,000 above mean sea level, inside it feels like we're only above 1,000. So it feels really good inside. So we can breathe well and stuff like that. So it's a very comfortable ride with this one. Noise insulation, and able to breathe better. That's why this is a very, very famous plane, very comfortable plane. No, actually not. I have not encountered any inaccuracy with the ILS or the nav data yet. Like what we've been given as vectors, right, and instructions, the airways, they're all accurate. I have not really encountered any discrepancy yet from what I see, even though we're using a 6-month-old or even older nav data. So for me, that older nav data is not really an issue in the TDS. And even if I do find the occasional, even if I will find it, I have not so far. I've been using this product since it released. Yeah, we'll see how it works. But so far, it's not really that important, the up-to-date nav data. It's up-to-date enough, I could say. And if ever we come across that, because eventually we will probably come across those inconsistencies, then I guess it's up to us to work with ATC to say enable or Yeah, they have to give us vectors or something. You get a fair view. Ah, I see. Interesting. Way to the right. I see. Yeah, maybe some. Yeah, I haven't been to Europe yet. Maybe many changes since the last one. Right. Yes, that's also my problem, Kevo. The smaller airports are not here. Was that for 414 Charlie Lima?
4 Charlie Lima, contact Albuquerque Center 124.32.
124.32. Thanks for the help. 414 Charlie Lima. Okay. Did I get that right? Doesn't seem right. Let's try it. Albuquerque Center, Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, 12,000 feet.
414 Charlie Lima, Albuquerque Center, roger.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Good. So let's see. There should be an ETA here. ETA to destination. Yes, this is 1 hour. So we are 1 hour away from our destination. Once we get more information on where we need to go, on what our arrival is, our approach would be, then we can think about setting up a vertical profile so that we have some VNAV guidance. What I want to do though is try and see. I probably won't get the ATIS yet, it's too early, but we can already plug it in 118.0 and see if we can hear something.
Seattle 121.4.
Nothing yet, it's too far away. Yeah, it's too far away because we are still 221 miles away. Yeah, 221 miles.
11,000 with weather for weed. Request the.
I see. Right, mostly fly in EU, so that might not help. Right. There might be many inconsistencies. Yeah, the realism is intense, right, with the TDS. It's amazing. I wish there was a way to update the nav data too and add some charts in. That would have been perfect. But yes, Kevo, what you mentioned, I also find that a problem in Skypark, so I need to be a bit picky with the with which airports I select. It's a bit hard in Skypark because it has a lot of those private airports, right, as destinations or as origins, and you never know if they're in the TDS or not because it uses its own nav data. And TDS actually gave, I'm not sure if you saw that link, there was someone who asked it in Discord, maybe that was you. Someone asked it and TDS actually gave a link explaining why Garmin themselves, they purposely did not include the private airfields. And their excuse is that it clutters the system too much in the map, so they didn't include them. And it's a Garmin trainer, a Garmin database feature, we could say. But they could have easily just added it and just hidden it by default, right? Option to show it. Yeah. Oh, needs lights? Which one? This one? Oh yeah, that's a good point. We do have some nice lighting in here. There. And then you can control each light individually using these dials. And you can, this one, you can see the lights changing. You can't highlight it so much in here, but at night you really see it there. You can change the lighting. And it remembers this setting. So if you max all of these out, in the next flight, they will start that way. So there is some form of state saving in the plane. It remembers the fuel levels, it remembers these dials, but not everything. Some of them reset. Maybe that's something that can be improved upon, the documentation on what gets remembered and what doesn't. Okay, we can actually plug in Albuquerque here as well. The VOR. Albuquerque VOR is actually this guy. 113.2. We can actually make that the active. And we can do the same here, 113.2. It's too far away though, we're not getting it yet. So in the meantime, what we could do, there is a Tucumcari VOR, which is 37 miles away. Yeah, we can probably tune that in.
And Charlie Zulu, NorCal approach, expect the visual approach from a 2 right San Francisco.
1136. Very powerful tool. And now you have 2 GTNXIs. There you go. And we can just pull this knob so that it automatically sets it to the 2, which is a 250
Albuquerque Center 128.45.
track.
2845, Sir Golf Hotel.
Sky Park, to play nice with TDS, you have to have lights required. Ah, I see what you mean. Yes, that's what I do as well. I turn on the lights required because most of the private airfields don't have lights. Yeah, that's true. That's a trick I use. There is also another option to turn on the to add custom waypoints, like create waypoint like this and then mark it as an airport. But I'm not sure how to kind of, like for example, there's a private airfield over here. Is it possible to change, like actually pinpoint the GPS coordinate through here and create a waypoint that way? I'm not so sure. Oh, maybe you can use this reference point, radial distance, and if you change this, you will be able to spot the actual so if you can find a reference waypoint and measure that outside, you can plug it in and plot that airport that way. That might be a possible thing. Alright. You can type it in somewhere. Oh. Who is CCM? Might have to watch him. 1 second. Waypoint info maybe? Airport? Or here, yeah. Create waypoint. Ah, yeah, maybe this one right here, huh? OBS for vague runways. Ah, interesting. Ah, I see. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe you can change it here. If you can plug it in relation to a known waypoint, then you can track where it is.
53, 2 miles from the final approach fix at Weed, request frequency change.
Gotcha, F3, no traffic between you and Weed. Change advisory frequency approved for your misapproach this frequency or cancellation of IFR on the ground 122.2.
Frequency change approved, Sky 53.
Looks good. That's the only thing. Yeah, with this 414, it's so stable. Its autopilot is complete. It has altitude hold. It has vertical autopilot, right? Not like the Arrow. So once you set it up like this, there's nothing else to do. You don't have to switch tanks because they're all on the main tanks, right? So it's just that's the time you fiddle with the GTNXI. But yes, in here, okay, this is Tucumcari, 26 miles.
Charlie Zulu, County NorCal approach 134.5.
Ground speed is checked, is consistent with what the GPS is saying, 207. We should be there in 7 minutes. Cool. Alright. Looks good. Yeah, I wonder how he does that, the custom waypoint. If he does it differently from what I mentioned, maybe there is a more efficient way of doing it.
NorCal after C, Chris direct Archie, cross Archie at 7,000, clear GLS from 28 right approach.
What do you think they'll give us for this one? Let me show you the Navigraph. With the way, so I plugged in the route here now, right? Panhandle, Victor 12 to Albuquerque, and then direct to Albuquerque Airport. Albuquerque VOR is actually over here, and the airport is over there. So we'll actually be like, if we follow this to the letter, we'll be overshooting Albuquerque. So I expect when we get somewhere nearby here, aside from the frequency changes, we'll actually be vectored in and told of our approach. Yeah, probably. Hey, CMB. Sure thing, sure thing. 1 second, let's do that. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. And yes, we have lots of time today, so we can do that definitely. Now, brace your ears, it's going to get a bit louder. But I did tone down the volume already, so hopefully it's not too bad. Let me know if ever it's still too loud. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It has a very, very big nose. All that baggage you can store in there. Right.
Cheyenne 1399 NorCal Squawk 7424.
So this is the landing light I was saying. This guy. It actually animates properly. So that extends downward. The landing lights. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Clumsy. Indeed, indeed. It's a very, very nice plane. It's a bit heavy on the frames right now, on the textures. So I think that will still require some optimization, but yeah, overall the cabin is amazing. Look at the details here. You can do just like enjoy your time here. I think this is the potty, toilet. Yeah, I think if you open that flap, can you click it? Oh, you can't. That's the built-in toilet.
Walker 462, then we're center.
Beautiful here, right? Very nice. And then they have that fake mirror at the back, so it kind of looks like it's a bigger plane. Just don't zoom in, because you'll actually notice it's a fake texture. But from afar like this, it's very hard to notice. Look at how nice that looks. That's how big that plane is.
You'd like to navigate via?
Yes, Kilo, Sierra, India, Yankee, and the...
All the details you find. Yeah, the texturing is exquisite.
Oscar Golf.
And then so many different... Oh, there's even squeaking.
Roger. Just to verify, you mean Montague, the Montague NDP, Mike Oscar Golf?
That's what I meant, Montague.
Roger, thank you. And it's Guy 53, what's your approach request?
Hey, Game Theorist.
GPS Alpha.
Okay.
Challenger 650. No, unfortunately not. I have not flown the 650 on PilotEdge. Are you concerned with like the altitude differences? I think there is I thought they fixed it now. If you untick that box in the 650, you shouldn't get the inconsistencies anymore. But maybe they only fixed that in VATSIM. Yeah, and that's a good transition actually, Game Theorist, because how many people can it hold? I think 7. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then I think they can actually put a seat in here. Here near where the door is. If you put a weight on passenger 7, it would actually add a seat here visually. So guys, if you haven't seen, I did make an announcement video on YouTube because things are changing, unfortunately, for the stream. My stream schedule will zero out in May. I won't be able to stream on May. I'm not sure when I can go back. If I can go back, the schedule will probably change because I'm actually doing this as a hobby. I do have my full-time work and I'm switching work on end of April actually. So this schedule will no longer be possible because this is only possible because I'm working from home right now and I'm more in control of my schedule. In my new work, I don't think we will have work from home, maybe not so much, so this will definitely change. But yeah, so in May, the streams will stop. I'll have to get used to my new work. I'll have to do a lot of catching up, and then hopefully when I get used to it, I'll find a sweet spot. Maybe I can stream on the weekend, maybe on the off hours on the weekdays. We'll see how it works. We'll see how strict they are, what kind of environment that will be, and then we'll find a way through, and we'll continue streaming because I will definitely miss this. I'm missing it already, so we'll find a way through. But yes, just be aware the streams will be stopping for a time. And when they resume, they will most likely have a different schedule. So in the meantime, if you're interested in keeping up to date, I highly recommend you joining the Discord. Exclamation point email. You can send me a note there and I can send you the link. I don't publicly share the Discord link anymore because we've had a troll incident before, and yeah, it was a bit messy. So now it's a bit more personal when I send out the invites. There's no requirement for it. As long as you're not a troll, you're welcome. But yeah, we are a bit more careful in giving out the links. Thanks. There you go. Thanks, Raz. Yeah, indeed, indeed. I will miss these sessions. Because as I mentioned a while ago in the beginning, this is really my only time when I can go on PilotEdge. This is my only time I can really devote my full attention to flight sim. I really stay here, listen to the frequency, hang out with you guys. And I will definitely miss times like these, so I'm confident I will make a way through it again. It just might be a different schedule.
Mr. Golf Hotel, it's going to maintain 9,000. 9,000.
50 minutes.
Sky High 53, proceed right to Montague. Cross Montague at or above 11,000. Cleared GPS Alpha approach for the Siskiyou Airport.
Correct Montague, cross Montague at or above 11,000. Cleared GPS Alpha approach.
It's nice that you actually hear a lot of transmissions, right? Doesn't feel like the frequency is empty. Even though in reality there are only like 14, 10 to 20 users, I think, in PilotEdge. Very small compared to VATSIM. But they made a way that you can actually hear those transmissions as well. Quite nice.
Cancellation received, squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Good day.
Chancellor VFR, frequency change approved, squawk VFR, good days. Flysimware Golf Hotel.
Looks good. Alright, what else can we tweak here? Let's see.
1399, contact NorCal approach 135.1.
We can, I think, switch VORs now because it's now at our back. Still not getting that. Albuquerque is still too far away. That's okay. It will come in sooner or later.
1399, NorCal approach. Hello, the San Francisco altimeter 3012.
Yeah, definitely, Kevo. Yes, it's a huge upgrade. It's an offer I couldn't resist. Yeah, because in my work, I've been working with my current company for almost 15 years now. But yes, that's one of the downsides of staying too long in a company. I tend to get in the career progression, in the compensation, right? The salary kind of flattens out. And it's been flat for the past X years. So I started looking around early this year. Someone actually reached out, and I was feeling out how much was I worth outside, my market rate, so to speak. And I was like, really? Wow, okay, go, let's do this. So yeah, yes. So that's why I'm moving. It was an offer that I could not refuse.
0.5.
That for us? Thanks, Kevo. Thanks, Aviers. Maybe not us, because he didn't repeat it. Kid. Maybe I should listen more. Yeah, I think this is one downside, because whenever I speak, the volume of the ATC automatically lowers based on the settings I put in. But that also means because it lowers when I'm speaking, I can't hear them anymore. So I might have to change that. Might be risky. It's amazing how much you remember and retain considering you have so little. Thanks, yes. Yeah, I guess it's because I really enjoy it. That's really the factor, right? If you enjoy something, you'll really put your effort into it. And yes, my goodness, getting exposed to flight sims is, my goodness, this is life-changing in a way. It's amazing. All the complexities and all the fun. all the rules. 59 knots. We also have some trims here, rudder trim, aileron trim, and when I'm hand flying, I normally have to move the aileron trim maybe 2 turns to the right, 2 notches to the right, just a bit of adjustment, because the plane has a tendency to bank to the left. I guess because of the torque of the engine, maybe. It is a wonderful hobby, definitely, yes. It's amazing. The frequency has gone super quiet. I hope that's not because I'm out of range. Yes, Amy, yes. I learned so many things because of flight sim. I mean, I wasn't really into aviation. I did not know anything about aviation. I'm not really a fan of planes, wasn't before. I only got into it because X-Plane was on sale. X-Plane 11 was on sale on Steam, so I bought it. I tried it, and I got hooked. Like, I don't know when was that, maybe 3-4 years ago, something like that. So I'm very new when it comes to the flight sim world. I know others who have like 10 years, 20 years of experience with the flight simming. I'm a baby compared to them. But yeah, I'm catching up. Trying to catch up with all the stuff. So normally I'm not familiar with the planes. I only know of plane when I have a chance to fly it. Like, I knew nothing of twin Cessnas before this plane released, and then I started reading about it, watching about it, and I got exposed to the wonderful world of twin Cessnas. New planes coming out with duffel bags and pets. Sorry, didn't quite get it. But yeah, each new plane is such a joy, and I'm looking forward to the Cessna 310 by Milvis. Based on the videos I've seen from it, based on the videos they've released, it is one amazing plane. State saving, random failures, all the bells and whistles. So I look forward to trying that out too. There has been a new release. I think it's the Boeing what was it, 247D, was it? Super old school plane. It's a bit too old school for my taste, but I heard it's very good and it's very cheap actually. Very low price, but super detailed simulation. Inside the cockpit they have bags and pets, just like the truck sims. Oh really? Well, that's cool. I like that. Yeah. I have not seen that. I have not seen like cabin accessories kind of thing. Which plane is that? Let me have a look at where we are and if we should be changing frequencies already. Well, I don't think we should be because it's a fairly small distance we're traveling, so I don't expect a lot of frequency changes. Yeah, this is, I think, Albuquerque still. Let me try and find one. This is what I'm looking at, guys. I'm just trying to look for, because normally they have like a stamp icon to indicate the frequency for the center. It's not really 100% accurate, but it's like just a guideline. I don't see it though. Am I too zoomed out?
Denver Center, Walker 462 vacating 15,000 for 8,000.
Not sure.
247 is a death trap. Is it that complex? Goodness, I heard you had to monitor your temperatures and everything so diligently. Yeah, it's a bit too old school for my taste. But but I can see the thrill that gives. Parallel 42 Kit Fox does it. Ah, I see. Oh yeah, the God Friends Optica. Yes, yes, I saw that one had a dog. Very nice. Additional bells and whistles. Yeah, but yeah, for me personally, the 310 is what I'm really looking forward to the most from Milvis. Even more than the 737 from PMDG or the Phoenix A320. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Milvis 310 because I'm really into GAs recently, into twin engines, and yeah, all the details, all the advanced implementations of that plane that they've been showing. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't see any frequency here at all. Normally there would be like a stamp. Am I missing something?
American 1180, just to verify, Firebird 1 departure, Mohawk transition.
Don't see it. Yeah. 247, yeah.
Said, Firebird something or another, which is why I checked. All right, American 1180, you read that correct?
One full relay, let's say you can't take a break. True. Yeah, maybe I'm just really into the twin Cessna mood right now. Maybe normally I would have been very interested. But yeah, right now I'm fully focusing on the 414A, this plane, and the 310 that's coming up. I guess that's too much watching 310 pilot on YouTube. Yeah, the 414 is really great. But the 310 I think is no pushover. What I've seen that is unique on the 310, if they implement it properly, is the proper state saving. Each and every switch, how you leave it is how it will come back. So if you don't shut down properly, you'll pay for it. They even have a rental mode where the plane is being used by other pilots, and so when you start cold and dark, you have to check each and every knob because the other pilot might have left it at a different status, so you really have to pay close attention to each and every button, each and every switch. And then they have random failures, which you can set how frequent it is, and it can be a minor failure, a vacuum pump, a light bulb, a engine failure, so any random failures in there. So you really have to be monitoring your gauges diligently, just like a real flight. Like the thing is here, for example, the 414 is amazing, right? But now that we're here on cruise, I don't expect anything to fail because it's not implemented, right? There is no random failure, so it's not like I'll suddenly lose oil pressure or something. I can just chill, which is good in a way, but it depends on what you're looking for. And that is full immersion right there. Like you really have to continue scanning, keep on scanning your gauges, make sure nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong, everything is good. It's really like a real flight at that point. Yeah, you have to watch the gauges. Suddenly you might lose oil pressure, suddenly your engine might start coughing, sputtering, or your bulbs might not be working, so you have to do a test of your bulbs. Milvis has their own YouTube channel, and they featured those they showed those features in one video. The thing is, I'm not sure how well it is implemented because I've not flown it. I've not seen videos of streamers or actual people flying it, so they're still refining it. So I hope really that they implement that properly, because if they do, then yeah, you'll have to really be in pilot mode. You know, you can just go autopilot, chill, and then watch Netflix on the other room. You really have to stay in with the controls. Yeah, the 247 has a very similar thing, but the thing is, it's too vintage for my taste. I'm a bit more into the more, what do you say, more modern avionics maybe. Like, yes, it can fail, but it's like a bit more like practical in a way, because you fly the 247 for that classic vibe, right? For that historical feeling. But for me, I like to fly and simulate and how do you say, pretend that I got rich enough that I bought my own plane, whether that has classic dials, a bit old dials, steam gauges, or full high-tech avionics, one of those. But it makes it more believable for me, and I that kind of fantasy, you know, that kind of belief, that kind of immersion is big for me, because it's not impossible, you know, it can happen. But I would not be, maybe that's the main reason I'm not so interested in 247, despite its amazing simulation. It's too old. Like, I would not fly that thing in real life. It's too dangerous. So, and I'm not really that much of a history buff, because as I mentioned, I'm really new to avionics. So that's the historical significance of it is not such a big deal to me. Yeah. Maybe if I was into aviation a bit older, I would appreciate more its history. But because I'm a baby when it comes to aviation, I don't. It's not a big deal to me. Those historical planes. And it's just also, I guess, depending on the mood, because I did fly the DC-6, and the DC-6 is amazing. Although the DC-6 is a bit more modern. I think a lot more modern, right? I'm not sure, maybe 20, 30 years more modern than the 247. Maybe. Single pilot certification. Right, that's true. There's that huge factor as well. Hey, Pokemon. How's it going, man? Good morning. How's your trucking going? Thanks for sharing your photos, your journeys in Discord. Are we close enough now to hear some 80s at least? 103. Let's try. We do sense it now here at Albuquerque 80s. Let's try and see if we can hear anything. Nah. Still too far. Okay. Rediscovering ATS and ETS too. Have you been away for a while? Yeah, it's always fun when you catch up on those new features, right? New areas. So much to discover. About 2 years. Oh yeah, that's huge. Yeah, in terms of developments that you can explore. It's great. Here we now have Albuquerque. Nice. We can now detect it. Albuquerque VOR. I'm expecting we should be vectored eventually. Second. Oh yeah, huge version change since then. Yeah, there's Albuquerque. We're actually pretty close. What should we prepare for? Maybe we can prepare for the frequencies. Nah, later. When we can start hearing the 80s, then I will start preparing for something. Yeah, for me it's the opposite with truck sim, because I was always up to date. So now I'm actually craving for something. So I'm starting to feel burnt out because I've explored it, and yeah, it's getting a bit repetitive. So I'm really looking forward to the new updates. So that's one advantage of getting a bit behind on the updates. There's so much to discover. Right? Enjoy, man. So yes, it's going to be a real good fight between the 414A and the 310. I think both of them will have a great market. Both of them will be successful, and they will have their own uses, because the 310, the Twin Cessna 310 is it's not pressurized, and it's not turbocharged, so it's a normally aspirated twin engine plane, so it can only go up to around 12,000 max, maybe even lower. You don't have oxygen, so maybe around 10,000 would be the highest normally. 11. Yeah, it won't be the same. This one can go up to 30,000. Realistically around 27,000, maybe 28 maximum. Getting a bit of bumps here, passing through clouds. The autopilot is holding that nicely. Yeah, it will be very different. Yes. So yeah, for IFR flights, this plane will actually be a lot more capable in that way, because this is pressurized. The 310 is not. So you'll be staying around 10,000 feet at most. So that one will probably be more visual, more personal, yeah, in a way. And in that way, there is a market for both planes. Corsica being in the game. Right, yes. Yes, that was added in one of the versions. That's true. Enjoy. Okay, did I miss anything? I think we are good. The lights are good. Although, yeah, if you look at the switches, they're not very intuitive, are they? Like, this is the correct setting, but they are not aligned. Even this one, they're not aligned. It's not very, the user interface is not the easiest to remember. You can just look at it and see that all switches are down or something and know that everything is good. You have to really remember what the correct place is for each one. There you go, that's what I wanted to say. Sidetrack 259er. Yeah, that's going to be automatically adjusted for us there. Hey Gamaste, thank you. Yes, I'm feeling almost back to normal now. Maybe around 99%. Yeah, I can actually go outside the house now again. We've lost like 20 gallons each side. Yeah, this is still bugged. Good. You can see I have terrain on here on this other screen. You can see we actually have high mountains on the right side. Where is that? I think it's those ones. Yeah, higher than our current altitude. We're almost at that level. If we click on it, we'll see. Yeah, 11,000 feet. 12,400. The good thing about IFR is you're basically waiting for instructions. So you do what you're told. You don't have to keep looking outside, looking for the airport. Well, at some point I guess you would need to, but at least it's not as it's not visual, and you get more guidance. So it's a bit more hand holding, as long as you can hold the hand. As long as you can keep up with the instructions. So it has its own challenges. I wonder if we lost communication. We do have the guard frequency on, so if we did miss a frequency change, we should be able to. They should be able to contact us there through the guard frequency. Let's try again. Check out the ATIS. Still nothing. Still too far. Okay. 118.0. Oh, I don't have a screenshot yet. 1 second. We need a screenshot for the thumbnail. Going to be nice. I think I can use one of my. I did take plenty of screenshots in offline flights, so I think I can take one of those, because this one is not very scenic. But we can take one anyway. There we go. Does that work? Oh, that doesn't work. There we are. The frequency has gotten very quiet. I hope I'm still connected. 1 second. Yeah, we are in. We are connected. I can do a radio check if I'm really paranoid about it. Still nothing. Okay. How far away? 91 miles. Yeah. Or actually, that should be a bit shorter because we expect to be vectored in somewhat. So we should be around 55 miles, I guess. Something like that. So if I just click through here, Albuquerque, you'll see we're 66 miles away. We should be descending soon, I think. Although airport elevation is 5,355. I think we can set that already. Yeah, maybe that's wrong, huh? Maybe I set this wrong. Yeah, let's set that properly because the cabin altitude when we land should be at airport elevation. So I should set this maybe to cabin altitude, which is field elevation. Not sure if that's how you do it. So if we set this to around 5,300, 5,500 like that, cabin altitude, it should actually depressurize the cabin a bit. So this cabin altitude, you can see the rate is increasing. So we're depressurizing it a bit. So the pressure should go lower in here. And then the cabin altitude should increase to around 5,000. And that would mean, because the airport elevation is 5,300, so we should be matching that, I think. I think that's how you should do it. Not exactly sure. The 247, it's an amazing plane. It's a very cheap one. Just not for me. It's a bit too hardcore for me. We talked about this a few minutes ago. But yeah, it's amazing with all the simulation from what I've heard. But it's a bit too old for my taste, a bit too vintage for my taste. I would like a bit more like steam gauge, but not literal steam, you know, like these kind of gauges. But not to the point that you have a steam train, a steam plane, maybe is the equivalent. I don't know, that's how it looked to me at least. Like the equivalent of a steam train in the air. Okay, 60 miles. Still nothing, huh? Interesting. Is that Albuquerque in here? Very quiet. It is a D8 from Albuquerque, so maybe...
Number 21263, executive ground departure frequency 127.4, squawk 2402.
Do we not hear center anymore? I think we lost range of it.
263, read back correct, runway 20,
taxi
via Mike, Delta, cross runway 12.
Hey Jay, how's it going, man?
Runway 2, taxi via Mike Hotel.
Alright, so this is when the waiting game starts. Because I'm not sure how it works.
21263, and you're headed to runway 2, taxi via Mike Hotel.
I think the controllers changed, didn't it? I think it sounds different. Hey PDX, how are you doing, man?
Again, 225 Phoenix clearance.
Better late than never. How's the 414 treating you? I'm doing good, Jay. Almost back to normal, thank you.
Departure frequency 119.2, squawk 2241.
Just woke up. Looking forward to the update. It should have released now if the schedule is through. Although I think it got pushed back. Yeah, it's 7 p.m. PST now. Should be.
225, read that correct.
Voice seems better. Good, thanks. Still no ATIS. Interesting. Maybe around 40 miles is when we should start hearing it. Next 10 minutes, there you go. Thanks, VDX. Yes, as always, you are more up to date than I am on that one. Thanks for sharing those updates with us. Yes, looking forward to it. I hope they fix the fuel computer. That's one of my pet peeves, because it's so visible, but it's so wrong, right? The estimate, the used gallons, the remaining, it's not working. I hope they fix that. That's one of the biggest bugs to me, and that being a big bug says a lot about the greatness of this plane. Most of the stuff works great. It's amazing. Second mod plane that you're interested in, the DC-6. Ah, you're a classic lover. Nice. It's great. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's now 48 knots. We're still traveling 185 knots on the ground though, so not bad. Definitely still much faster than an Arrow, right? Even with that brutal headwind. The new textures, I saw some of them. I think I saw one on the yoke. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because the textures here really give a huge load on my VRAM. I think it's not the best optimized. It looks great, but it's not the most optimized texture pack. My VRAM is maxed out.
Clearance clear to Cheyenne Airport. Yellowstone 4 departure.
And I think they will be using the decal system, right, which should be a lot more optimized, because they can make large textures for only a small space and not make everything large. How far away are we from Albuquerque? There's Albuquerque. 46 miles, 8 is come up soon. Romeo.
Albuquerque International Airport. 8 information Romeo. 0152 Zulu. Wind 290 at 21. Gun 31. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 23. Dew point -8. Altimeter 2977. Arriving and departing runway 3.
Chicken 1180 Phoenix ground runway 26. Taxi via Sierra Bravo.
Clearance delivery. Advise on course heading. Altitude.
I missed the departure and arrival runway. Let's do that one more time.
Albuquerque International Airport. 86 information Romeo. 0152 Zulu. Wind 290 at 21. Gun 31. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 23. Dew point -8. Altimeter 2977. Arriving and departing runways 21, 26. Visual approaches in your CFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and in flight following.
Okay, we have Romeo. 2-1 and 2-6, but the winds are 2-9, so 2-6 is the ideal one. Yeah, that's gusting pretty bad, and 2-1. 2-1 gusting 3-1. Okay, and it's 29 or 77, so I think we have to adjust our altimeter here. Actually, they should have given us the altimeter setting. Maybe I can set it now. Yeah. Yeah, 2-1 and 2-6, because the airport has multiple runways. One runway is closed, which should have been ideal, but it's closed because it's smaller. We'll see how that works.
November 21263, Executive Tower, make left downwind departure, runway 2, cleared for takeoff.
Push flying. Ah, yeah, I see what you mean now, yes. Back to basics. 2977. Let the plane correct for the altitude. 2977 over here. There you go. We have Romeo. Uploading the update now. Nice. Maybe we'll have time to check it out. I think we won't. Great low level work these days. Yeah, that's very true. Such a beautiful sim. So I expect we would be handed over to approach soon. I think the frequency, if I read through here, is on or on north of Victor 1-2 and west of let's see. Let me show you what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. So it said arriving runways 21, which is this one, or 26, but the winds are coming from 29 from here. So 26 is ideal. And they said 30 is closed, so that won't be possible for us. So 26 is where we would like to land. And then in terms of the frequency, we can just wait for it. But if you try to preempt it, it's probably this one. Albuquerque departure. I think it's one of those. On or north of Victor 1-2. We're on Victor 1-2. I think this is us 127.4. Because this is on Victor 1-2 and west of Sandia Mountains. I'm not sure what Sandia Mountains is. But yeah, I'm guessing. If I were to guess, I would put it at 127.4. So we'll keep that on standby and we can just change it when needed. Have a look here. I think we should be Vector.
Runway 26, cleared for takeoff.
A beautiful sim, yes. You'll get some angry comments otherwise. From Flysimware, you mean PDX? Yeah, same here. This is my first product from him. Such a diligently working guy. Yeah, and I even got this for free, so I'm happily showing it now. Sorry for the delay, but yeah, he gave me a copy. And I've been enjoying it since.
Runway 26, taxi via Sierra Bravo. American 225, no problem. Runway 26, taxi via Sierra Bravo.
Could actually do a straight in here. Not sure if they're planning on vectoring us in soon. Only 26 miles away from Albuquerque.
Contact NorCal departure.
We can actually do a straight in. Yeah, the details of the interior is very nice. Even the lighting. The lighting is amazing, this guy. You can't see it so much, but yeah. At night, it's amazing.
We're 21263, departure, radar contact.
I think we have to remind them. Or they will just they'll just vector us in after Albuquerque. See. (6,000 feet). If we're at 12,000, we need to descend to 5,000 something. Then that's around 7,000 feet. 7,000 feet, let's say they descend 1,000 feet per minute. That's 7 minutes. Yeah. It's a bit too late. I think we'll have to go to the VOR and then see where they guide us. Let's see if they remember us, or if we'll have to remind them.
American 1180, contact departure. Number 414 Charlie Lima, contact Albuquerque approach 127.4.
27.4, 414 Charlie Lima. Thanks for the help. Yeah, we got it right. 414, 1274. Nice. Okay. Albuquerque approach, Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, 12,000 with Romeo.
414 Charlie Lima, expect visual approach runway 26 for 21, your choice. And turn 10 degrees left, descend and maintain 10,000.
We'd like visual for 26 please, 10 degrees left, descend 10,000, 414 Charlie Lima. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something like that maybe, and then let's go remove the altitude hold. Let's descend 1,000 feet per minute. Let's pull back on the power, and then let's arm 10,000. There you go. And then let's prepare this guy for a visual. We're being vectored now for visual for 26.
1 o'clock, 15 miles, advise us.
We have it inside 414 Charlie Lima.
4 Charlie Lima, cleared visual approach, runway 26.
Cleared for the visual, runway 26, 4 Charlie Lima. Cool. Right, good.
And American 225, ready for takeoff, runway 26.
Okay, so let's do a visual, runway 26. That's
American
good there.
Next tower, runway 26, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 26, American 225.
Right.
Phoenix departure, American 1185,000 climbing.
Actually, we can disarm, right? And I can actually remove the autopilot here. We can fly on our own, just keep the yaw damper there. Let's pull back on the power. Let's do a bit of hand flying. We can expect to be handed over to tower soon, which is 120.3, 203. There you go. And then we can descend a bit steeper because we're pressurized, even though we're descending 2,000 feet per minute, you can see the cabin altitude is staying the same. Right? It's the beauty of having a pressurized plane. You have more freedom to descend steeper without getting inconvenience on the on your passengers.
6,000 miles approved. Just advise when you're ready for departure.
That's runway 26. Yeah, the gray thing, not the black thing. The black thing is a taxiway. We don't want to do our Harrison Ford here. Okay, let's do our checks. Gas. It's the low fuel pump. Yeah, gas. Main tanks, yes. Undercarriage. We're still a bit too fast. So let me pull back here. Yeah, honeycomb. Yes, exactly. There you go. Slow it down a bit more. The winds are pretty strong coming from the right. Oh my goodness, we'll be crabbing like crazy here. I hope we have enough rudder authority on this version, because we have had reports where they say the rudder authority on this plane is not enough. So with crosswinds, it's not enough to actually handle the crabbing. Right. Let's lower the landing gear.
4 Charlie Lima, contact Albuquerque Tower.
Going to tower 4 Charlie Lima.
Phoenix departure, American 225 out of 4,000 for 8,000. Good evening.
American 225, Phoenix departure, radar contact, climb maintain, flight level
Lights.
210.
I'm at a flight level 210, American 225.
Albuquerque Tower, Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, inbound visual runway 26.
414 Charlie Lima, Albuquerque Tower, runway 26, clear to land.
Runway 26, clear to land, 414 Charlie Lima. Nice. Thankfully not as much traffic in here. We have one notch of flaps. Let's get one more. We are on the safe speeds, but I am so misaligned with the runway because of how much that thing is crabbing.
American 1180, maintain 2.
There's the glide path. You can see we're actually high. So let's start descending a bit steeper. Let's get full flaps in here. So we have gas is checked, undercarriage is checked. We have 3 greens, we have full flaps. Mixture is full. Props will remain at 2500 from what I've learned. In switches, yeah, the landing lights are on. Your damper is off. And I think we are good to land. Okay, let's focus on landing. Wish me luck, guys. And look at that crab. Hopefully the winds get lower as we go lower. Whoop. And just in time for our best friends, the want more followers guys, to come into the mix. There's the glide path. We're right on the glide path now.
American 1180, contact Albuquerque Center 134.32.
GA parking is on the left, so we should make a left as soon as we can. Right. We have 3 greens. Nice.
500.
Stay at 100 knots in here because it is gusty. Although, yeah, that's one of the lacking things in the sim at the moment. We don't really have gusts, I think. So even though it's gusting 21 gusting 31, I think we only have the 21 component in there, not really the 31. This is interesting. We have this Albuquerque airport with a huge runway, 13,000 feet, and it only has VASI lights in here. You can see it on the left. We have red and white.
American 1180, Albuquerque Center, climb maintain flight level 300.
I thought the VASI lights were mainly for smaller airports. Okay, looks good. Crabbing still.
American 1180, clear direct Mohawk.
There we go. Right, let's decrab. Start losing that altitude. Bit of right aileron floating a bit, that's fine. There it is. There we go. Yeah, because we don't have gusts, it's very gentle. And then right crosswind correction. Very nice. Let's continue on. There should be an Echo 6 soon enough. The one 21 gusting 31 means 21 winds. Yes, exactly, Pokemon, exactly. Thanks, Alex. So we do have enough rudder authority at least to decrab. In that case, that's good. Over here. So let's exit here, and then after we cross, let's go ahead and see. One second, it says taxiway Echo 5 is closed. This might be closed where I'm going. Yeah, I might get scolded here, guys. Let's see where they'll guide us. Okay. Let's go and clean up the plane first.
Centennial ground, November 716 Delta Mike, holding short 35 right at Alpha.
Number 716 Delta Mike, Centennial Tower, fly, runway heading, runway 35 right, cleared for takeoff.
35 right, clear for takeoff, runway heading, November 716 Delta Mike.
Right.
American 225, contact Albuquerque Center 134.32.
Thanks, yeah, definitely. Such a nice hand flying experience.
Good night, sir.
Albuquerque Tower, Twin Cessna 414 Charlie Lima, clear off runway 26 at Echo 6. Oh, I should have told him taxi to...
November 4 Charlie Lima, where are you parking?
I would like to go to the GA ramp, if possible, 414 Charlie Lima.
For 4 Charlie Lima, taxi to parking via Echo Charlie, cross runway 21, hold short runway 22. Correction, runway 12.
Taxi via Echo Charlie, hold short runway 12, 414 Charlie Lima. Okay. That almost didn't make sense to me.
American 225, Albuquerque Center, good evening, climb maintain flight level 340.
Good. So Echo is this one straight ahead, and then we'll turn left on Charlie, and then we'll hold short on runway 12. So we will not cross the runway immediately. Cool. But yeah, PilotEdge is such a pleasure in these cases. It's really like you get the full package, right? The ATIS, all the tower, all the frequencies, all the frequency changes. And yes, I think it's a bit more relaxed as compared to when you're flying in a very different in a rating where it's a bit more tense. So I think that looks good.
716 Delta Mike, contact departure.
Over to departure, 716 Delta Mike. Continual departure, November 716 Delta Mike is 7,000, climb at 8,000, runway heading.
I actually forgot if we've been cleared to cross runway 21.
Denver departure, radar contact, climb and maintain maintain 8,000.
So let me clarify.
716 Delta Mike.
414 Charlie Lima, sorry, are we cleared to cross runway 21?
We're 4 Charlie Lima, cross runway 21, hold short of runway 12.
Ah, there you go, thanks. Crossing runway 21, holding short runway 12 for Charlie Lima. That's too many numbers. Alright, let's see. Okay, that looks good. We do have our strobes on. Don't think there's anyone here. So we are crossing on Echo. This is still Echo. Not to go too fast.
Second 225. Say airspeed.
Yeah, this is Echo. We can see it there.
Maintain 280 knots, and I'll have a Mach number for you to transition to standby, but 280 for now.
It's quite interesting actually. I would have expected it to be the other way around. I would have expected to hold short at runway 21 because runway 21 is an active runway based on the ATIS that we've listened to. And then runway 12 and 30, this is the runway that's closed. But they asked us to hold short here. So it's quite an interesting instruction. Yeah, maybe there is a reason for it. So Charlie is this next one, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's Charlie on the left.
American 1180, maintain 310 knots.
Once you pick up some ground speed on this guy, it really what do you call it? Weather vanes. It really tries to go towards the wind. So
we're 4 Charlie across runway 12 at Charlie and Charlie Foxtrot or Charlie Golf to park.
Crossing runway 12 at Charlie and Charlie Foxtrot. We're on 4 Charlie Lima. Thank you. There you go. Good. Charlie Foxtrot because it's a less sharp turn. Yeah, such a joy to fly. First time flying it with PilotEdge, but with how stable it is, with how pleasure it is to hand fly, to do the autopilot and everything, it's not a problem at all. It was a great experience. This is exactly the kind of experience I look forward to. Because yeah, during these streaming times is when I can fully focus on the stream with you guys. Otherwise I would have to multitask and do some other stuff. So I cannot focus this much. So this is great for me. Right, Foxtrot, and then the entrance is over. Actually, this one can do already. Yeah, we can park here. Cool, this should be good. And this is the GA parking. Just look for a parking slot. Awesome job, guys, we did it. Corsica is amazing. Nice, glad you're enjoying it. Cool stuff, man. That would be amazing, Rook. So many things to improve. It's great already as it is, but yes, definitely. Always some room for improvement. Cool. Right, so let's just shut this down and should be good to go. The airport does look pretty hollow though, pretty empty because yeah, the PilotEdge traffic is minimal. I think it should be. PDX got an update for us saying that Flysimware was uploading it already.
American 225, contact LA Center 124.62.
Right, let's park it up. Parking brake. Let's turn off the taxi lights. You can turn off the avionics as well. Turn off the lights. That should be good. Oh, we should have pushed this one. Open the cowl flaps when you land, so to cool down the engines. And we can pull the mixture. Oh, that actually. Pull forward. Push forward the mixture, the propeller after landing, I think. Turn off the magnetos. Turn off the lights. Turn off the battery and alternator. And we are good to go. There we go, guys. We did it. And there is the Crosswind Vor. Still a few bugs here and there, but overall, it's an amazing plane. And I'm looking forward to trying out the update. Oh, the update is live. I see. Yes. Let's have a look at the... Yeah, before we end, let's have a look at the patch notes of this new thing that we're trying out. We all fit in the plane, I know, right? Yeah, here it is. Beta 1.4.0 is now available. Let's go and check that out. Let's see what gets added. Tablet walk-around checklist hotspots for cameras had some mistakes due to new cameras being added. Okay, fix the cameras. Totalizer is still getting updated. This is the fuel totalizer. Okay, so it looks like it's still not fixed, but they are fixing it. Maybe some parts of it have been fixed, but not fully. But it's good to see an update. We have autopilot updated and tested. Okay, all right, good. Turn ball now has full deflection. Okay, I think before the ball was not moving as much. Fuel flows are now accurate. In case you noticed, we had so much fuel flow a while ago. It was too excessive. But now it's been made proper. Ah, nice. This is one of the quirks. Yes, the three-way switches. They actually move the opposite way. What do I mean by that? This one here. So if you have this three-way switch on the fuel pump, if you want it to go down here, you have to move it up. You have to move the scroll wheel up so that it goes down, and then move it down so it moves up. I know it's confusing. Same with landing lights. So everything is inverted, all the three-way switches. So now, thankfully, that's fixed. Oh, and now you have an accurate governor check. This is what I was complaining about, that when you move the propeller during the ground check, the RPM doesn't fall. Now it should, based on the update. Pretty cool. Yeah, on their Discord. Hey Rohan, how's it going, man? Just in time. We just landed and finished the flight. Stall speeds updated. Okay, good. AFP tablet can now have the battery replaced. Okay, that's good, because before, when the battery on the tablet can actually run out, this guy, and if it runs out, there was no way to get it back. Why is that not up? Yeah, I think we just lost our battery. Maybe it ran out of battery. So when it runs out, you don't have a way to bring it up anymore. So now they added a way to charge it. Okay. Glass scratches and fingerprints added. I think they made this clean before. It was too dirty before. Now they made it too clean. So they're probably looking for the right balance. Autopilot and transponder, real background color. I think it's this one. Before it was black. Before it was blue. I think they made it black. Taxi light no longer stays on when retracted. Flight dynamics updated, including too twitchy on runway and rudder controls. Okay, that's what I was complaining about. I thought it was realistic though, because it has a humongous rudder. If you look at the rudder, it's humongous compared to other planes. So I thought it was more prone to getting blown by the wind. But maybe it's still too much. Okay. And then engine performance. Okay. Mag check. Yeah, mag check was working for us. Like, we saw the RPMs going lower. Rudder was incorrectly coded to be part of the bungee cord. Okay, good. So now the bug I mentioned initially, where the rudder was not moving on the ground, now it is. Okay. HSI compass card was reported that the needle was not centered. Okay, a little bit of visual thing there. Lower the volume for ground roll because it's too loud when you're rolling on the ground, when you're taxiing, and have higher speeds. It's too loud, the bass. Don't ask me to repeat it. High RPM loop sound. Okay, that's good. Windshield annunciator light. Not sure what that is. I think that's the windshield defrost. And go around is working. Okay, good. Right, nice. Cool, okay, and some improvements on deliveries will be planned. That is amazing. Okay, so I look forward to checking it out more in the coming weeks. We'll see how it goes until I can still stream. Let's make the most of this. Thank you guys for joining me on this stream. Let's see how it works. Oh, it doesn't show for you? Yeah, maybe there's a bit of delay. In the product updates channel in Discord is where I see it. Okay, so thanks for joining, and have a good day, everybody. Stay safe. Catch you on Discord.
Bye. Have a great time.
Thanks for being here. Really appreciate the company. Mr. Not 11 in the house. Have a good one. Clumsy flying, and bye-bye.